My dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan Vasilovich, I'm extremely glad. Now, this is a surprise, my darling. How are you?
Thank you. And how may you be getting on?
We just get along somehow, my angel. To your prayers and so on. Sit down, please do. Now, you know you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors, my precious. My dear fellow, why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves, and so on? Can you be going anywhere, my treasure?
No, I've come only to see you, honored Stepan Stepanovich.
Then why are you in evening dress, my precious? As if you're paying a New Year's Eve visit.
Well, you see, it's like this. I've come to you, honored Stepan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for aid, and you have always, so to speak... I beg your pardon, I'm terribly excited. I shall drink some water, honored Stepan Stepanovich.
He's come to borrow money. Shan't give him any. What is it, my beauty?
You see, Honor Stepanich. I beg pardon. Stepanovich! I mean, I'm awfully excited, as you will please notice. In short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, and haven't any right to count on your assistance.
Oh, don't go round and round it, darling. Spit it out. Well?
One moment. This very minute. The fact is, I've come to ask the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stepanovna, in marriage.
By Jove, Ivan Vasilovich! Say it again, I didn't hear it all.
I have the honor to ask you...
My dear fellow, I'm so glad, and so on. Yes, indeed, and all that sort of thing. I've been hoping for it for a long time. It's been my continual desire. And I've always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. May God give you both his help and his wisdom and so on. And I did so much hope. What am I behaving in this idiotic way for? I'm off my balance with joy. Absolutely off my balance. I'll go call Natasha and all that.
Honored Stepan Stepanovich, Do you think I may count on her consent?
Why, of course, my darling. And as if she won't consent. She's in love. Egad! She's like a lovesick cat and so on. Shan't be long.
Oh, it's cold. I'm trembling all over, just as if I'd got an examination before me. The great thing is, I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to talk a lot, to look for an ideal or for real love, then I'll never get married. Brr, it's cold. Natalia Stepanovna is an excellent housekeeper, well-educated, not bad-looking. What more do I want? But I'm getting a noise in my ears from excitement. And it's impossible for me not to marry. In the first place, I'm already 35, a critical age, so to speak. In the second, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. I suffer from palpitations. I'm excitable and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment, my lower lip is trembling, there's a twitch in my right eyebrow. But the very worst of all is the way I go to bed. I no sooner get into bed than something gives a pull in my left side, and I can feel it in my shoulder and head. I jump up like a lunatic, walk about a bit, and then lie down again. But no sooner do I begin to get off than there's another pull, and this may happen 20 times.
Hello there! It's you! And Papa said go! There's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vasilovich?
How do you do, honored Natalia Stepanovna?
You must excuse my apron and negligee. We're shelling peas for drying. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? Do sit down. Won't you have some lunch?
No, thank you. I've had some already.
Then smoke. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet that the workmen didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field cut, though I'm not at all pleased about it because I'm afraid my hay may rot. I ought to have waited a bit. But what's this? Why, you're in evening dress. Well, I never. Are you going to a ball, or what? Though I must say, you look better. Tell me, why are you got up like that?
You see, honored Natalia Stepanovna, I've made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you'll be surprised and perhaps even angry, but it's awfully cold.
What's the matter? Well?
I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia Stepanovna, that I have long, since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. My aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and late mother. The Lomovs and the Chupakovs have always had the most friendly, and I might almost say the most affectionate, regard for each other. And, as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods.
Excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours?
Yes, mine.
What are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours.
No, mine, honored Natalia Stepanovna.
Well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out?
How? I'm speaking of those oxen meadows, which are wedged in between your birch woods and the burnt marsh.
Yes. They're ours.
No, you're mistaken, honored Natalia Stepanovna. They're mine.
Just think, Ivan Vasilovich, how long have they been yours?
How long? As long as I can remember.
Really? You won't get me to believe that.
But you can see from the documents, honored Natalia Stepanovna. It's true, oxen meadows were once the subject of dispute. But now everybody knows they are mine. There's nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of the meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they are to bake bricks for her. Now, the peasants of your father's grandfather used the land for 40 years, and got into the habit of regarding them as their own. When it happened that...
It isn't at all like that. Both my grandfather and great-grandfather reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means the oxen meadows were ours. I don't see what there is to argue about. It's simply silly.
I'll show you the documents, Natalia Stepanovna.
No, you're simply joking. Or making fun of me. What a surprise! We've had the land for nearly 300 years and then we're suddenly told that it isn't ours? Ivan Vasilovich, I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They only come to 5 desiatins and are worth perhaps 300 rubles, but I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will, but I can't stand unfairness.
Hear me out. I implore you. The peasants of your father's grandfather, as I have already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now, my aunt's grandmother, wishing to make them pleasant, well,
I can't make head or tail of this about aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. The meadows are ours, and that's all.
Mine.
Ours. You can go on proving it for 2 days on end. You can go and put on 15 dress jackets, but I tell you, they're ours, ours, ours! I don't want anything of yours, and I don't want to give up anything of mine, so there!
Natalia Stepanovna, I don't want the meadows, but I'm acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a gift of them.
I can make you a present of them myself, because they're mine. Your behavior, Ivan Vasilovich, is strange to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our threshing machine, although on that account, we had to put up our own threshing till November. Giving me my own land, indeed. No, really, that's not at all neighborly. In my opinion, it's even impudent, if you want to know.
Then you make out that I'm a land grabber? Madam, never in my life have I grabbed anybody else's land, and I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Oxen Meadows are mine.
It's not true. They're ours.
Mine!
It's not true. I'll prove it. I'll send my mowers out to the meadows this very day.
What?
My mowers will be there this very day.
I'll give it to them in the neck!
You dare!
Oxen Meadows are mine. You understand? Mine!
Please don't shout! You can shout yourself hoarse in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain yourself!
If it wasn't, madam, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I'd talk to you in a different way. Oxen Meadows are mine!
Ours!
Mine!
Ours!
Mine!
What's the matter? What are you shouting at?
Papa, please tell to this gentleman who owns Oxen Meadows, we or he.
Darling, the meadows are ours.
But please, Stepan Stepanovich, do be a reasonable man. How can they be yours? My aunt's grandmother gave the free use of the meadows to the peasants of your father's grandfather. Now, the peasants used the land for 40 years, and are as accustomed to it as if it was their own. When it happened that...
Excuse me, my precious. You forget just this. That the peasants didn't pay your grandma and all that, because the meadows were in dispute and so on. And now everybody knows that the meadows are ours. It means you haven't seen the plan.
I'll prove to you that they're mine.
You won't prove anything, my darling.
I shall!
Dear one, why yell like that? You won't prove anything just by yelling. I don't want anything of yours, and I don't intend on giving up what I have. Why should I? And you know, my beloved, that if you propose to go on arguing about it, I'd much sooner give up the meadows to the peasants than to you. There!
I don't understand. How have you the right to give away somebody else's land?
You may take it that I know whether or not I have the right, because, young man, I'm not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice. I, young man, am twice your age, and I ask that you speak to me without agitating yourself and all that.
No. You just think I'm a fool and want to have me on. You call my land yours, and then you want me to talk to you calmly and politely? Good neighbors don't behave like that, Stepan Stepanovich. You're not a neighbor, you're a grabber!
What's that? What did you say?
Papa, send the mowers up to the meadows at once!
What did you say, sir?
Oxen Meadows are ours, and I shan't give them up, shan't give them up, shan't give them up!
We'll see. I'll have the matter taken to court, and then I'll show you.
To court? You can take it to court and all that. You can! I know you. You're just on the lookout for a chance to go to court. You pettifogger! All your people were like that. All of them!
Never mind about my people. The Lomovs have all been honorable people, and not one has ever been tried for embezzlement like your grandfather.
You Lomovs have had lunacy in your family. All of you.
All!
And your mother was humpbacked.
And your grandfather was a drunkard. And your younger aunt, Nastasia Milanova, ran away with an architect and so on. Your father was a guzzling gambler.
And there haven't been many backbiters to equal your aunt.
You're an intriguer. Oh, my heart. And it's an open secret that before the last elections you brag. I can see stars. Where's my hat?
It's low. It's dishonest. It's mean!
And you're just a malicious, double-faced intriguer. Yes.
Here's my hat. Which way? Where's the door? Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb.
And don't set foot in my house again!
Take it to court! We'll see!
Devil, take him!
What a rascal! What trust can one have in one's neighbors after that?
The villain, the scarecrow.
The monster! First he takes our land and then he has the impudence to abuse us!
And that blind hen, yes, that turnip ghost, has the confounded cheek to make a proposal? What a proposal!
What proposal?
Why, he came here so as to propose to you.
To propose to me. Why didn't you tell me so before?
So he dresses up in evening clothes. That stuffed sausage, that wizen-faced frump.
To propose to me. Bring him back! Back! Bring him here!
Bring whom here?
Quick, I'm ill! Fetch him!
What's that? What's the matter with you?
I'm dying! Fetch him!
God, at once! Don't yell!
What have they done to me? Fetch him back! Fetch him!
He's coming and so on! Devil take him! Talk to him yourself, I don't want to.
Fetch him!
He's coming, I tell you! Oh, what a burden, Lord! To be the father of a grown-up daughter! I'll cut my throat, I will indeed! We've cursed him, abused him, drove him out! And it's all because of you! You!
No! It was you!
I tell you, it's not my fault! Now talk to him yourself!
My heart's... How they're taking awfully. My left foot's gone to sleep. There's something pulling at my side.
Forgive us, Ivan Vasilovich. We were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen Meadows really are yours.
My heart's beating awfully. My meadows! Ha!
The meadows.
My right eye is
The
twitching.
meadows are yours. Yes, yours. Do sit down. We were wrong.
I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me, but the principle!
Yes, the principle, just so. Now let's talk of something else.
And more so, as I have evidence. My aunt's grandmother gave the trees of the meadows to the peasants of your father's grandfather.
Yes, let that pass. I wish I knew how to get him started. Are you going to start shooting soon?
Oh, I'm thinking of having to go with the grouse, Natalia Stepanovna, after the harvest. Oh, have you heard? Just think, what a misfortune I have had. My dog, Guess, whom you know, has gone lame.
What a pity. Why?
I don't know. Must have got twisted or bitten by some other dog. My very best dog. Oh, to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mironov 125 rubles for him.
It was too much, Ivan Vasilovich.
I think it was very cheap. He's a first-rate dog.
Papa gave 85 rubles for his Squeezer, and Squeezer is heaps better than Guess.
Squeezer better than Guess? What an idea. Squeezer better than Guess.
Of course he's better. Of course, Squeezer is young, he may develop a bit, but on points and pedigree, he's better than anything that even Volchanetsky has got.
Excuse me, Natalia Stepanovna, but you forget one thing. Squeezer is overshot, and an overshot always means the dog is a bad hunter.
Overshot, is he? The first time I hear it.
I assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than the upper.
Have you measured?
Yes. He's all right at following, of course, but if you want him to get hold of anything...
In the first place, our Squeezer is a thoroughbred animal, the son of harness and chisels, while there's no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. He's old and as ugly as a worn-out cab horse.
He is old, but I wouldn't take 5 squeezes for him. Why, how can you? Guess is a dog. As for Squeezer, well, it's too funny to argue. Anybody you like has a dog as good as Squeezer. You may find them under every bush almost. 25 rubles would be a handsome price to pay for him.
There's some demon of contradiction in you today, Ivan Vasilovich. First you pretend the meadows are yours, now that Guess is better than Squeezer. I don't like people who don't say what they mean, because you know perfectly well that Squeezer's 100 times better than your Guess. Why do you want to say it isn't?
I see, Natalia Stepanovna, that you consider me either blind or a fool. You must realize that Squeezer is overshot.
It's not true.
He is.
It's not true.
Why shout, madam?
Why talk rot? It's awful. It's time your Guess was shot, and to compare him with Squeezer.
Excuse me, I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating.
I've noticed that those hunters who argue most know least.
Madam, please be silent. My heart is going to pieces.
Squeezer is 100 times...
Shut up!
Shut up until you acknowledge that Squeezer's 100 times better than your silly Guess.
100 times worse. Be hanged of your Squeezer.
There's no need to hang your silly Guess. He's half dead already.
Shut up! My heart's bursting!
Shut up!
What's the matter now?
Papa, tell us truly, which is the better dog? Our Squeezer or his Guess?
Stepan Stepanovich, I implore you to tell me just one thing. Is your Squeezer overshot or not? Yes or no?
And suppose he is. What does it matter? He's the best dog in all the district and so on.
But isn't my Guess better? Really now?
Don't excite yourself, my precious one. Allow me. Your Guess certainly has his good points. He's purebred, firm on his feet, has well-sprung ribs. But my dear man, if you want to know the truth, that dog has 2 defects. He's old, and he's short in the muzzle.
Excuse me, my heart. Let's take the facts. You'll remember that on the Marusinski hunt, my Guess ran neck and neck with the Count's dog. Well, your Squeezer was left a whole verst behind.
He got left behind because the Count's whipper-in hit him with his whip.
And with good reason. The dogs are running after a fox, and your Squeezer goes and starts worrying a sheep.
It's not true, my dear fellow. I'm very liable to lose my temper, and just because of that, let's stop arguing. You started because everybody is always jealous of everyone else's dogs. Yes, we're all like that. You too, sir, aren't blameless. You no sooner notice that some dog is better than your Guess than you begin with this, that, and the other. I remember everything.
I remember too.
I remember too. What do you remember?
My heart, I can't.
My heart! Ugh! What sort of a hunter are you? You had to go and lie in the kitchen oven and catch black beetles, not go after foxes. My heart!
Yes, really. What sort of hunter are you, anyway? You ought to sit at home with your palpitations and not go tracking animals. You could go hunting, but you'd only go to interfere with everyone else's dogs and so on. Let's change the subject in case I lose my temper. You're not a hunter at all, anyway.
And are you a hunter? You only go hunting to get in with the Count and to intrigue. Oh, my heart. You're an intriguer!
What? I? An intriguer? Shut up!
Intriguer!
Boy, pop!
Old rat! Jesuit!
Shut up or I'll shoot you like a partridge, you fool!
Everybody knows that. Oh, my heart. Your late wife used to beat you. I see stars. My heart. I fall! I fall!
And you're under the slipper of your housekeeper.
There. My shoulders come off. My heart's burst. Where's my shoulder? I die. Doctor!
Boy, milksop, fool. I'm sick. Sick!
What sort of a hunter are you? You can't even sit on a horse! Papa? What's the matter with him? Papa? Look, Papa! Ivan Vasilovich! He's dead!
I'm sick. I can't breathe. Air.
He's dead! What have they done to me? He's dead! A doctor! A doctor!
Oh, what is it? What's the matter?
He's dead! Dead!
Who's dead? So he is. My word. Water? A doctor? I'm the most unhappy of men. Why don't I put a bullet in my brain? Why haven't I cut my throat yet? What am I waiting for? Give me a knife. Give me a pistol. He seems to be coming round.
I see stars. Mist. Where am I?
Oh, hurry up and get married. And to the devil with you. She's willing. She's willing and all that. I give my blessing and so on. Only leave me in peace.
What? To whom?
She's willing. Well, kissing me damn to you.
He's alive! Yes, I'm willing!
Kiss each other.
Kiss whom? Very nice, too. Excuse me, what's it all about? Oh, I remember now. Stars! I'm happy. Natalia Stepanovna. My foot's gone to sleep.
I'm happy too.
Oh, what a weight off my shoulders.
But still you will admit now that Guess is worse than Squeezer.
Better.
Worse!
Well, that's one way to start off your family bliss. Have some champagne.
He's better.
Worse! Worse! Worse!
Champagne! Champagne!
It isn't right, ma'am. You're wearing yourself out. The maid and the cook have gone looking for berries. Everything that breathes is enjoying life. Even the cat knows how to be happy, slips out of the courtyard and catches birds. But you hide yourself here in the house as though you were in a cloister. Yes, truly, by actual reckoning, it has been a whole year since you've left this house.
And I shall never leave it. Why should I? My life is over. He lies in his grave, and I've buried myself within these four walls. We are both dead.
There you are again! It's too awful to listen to. So it is. Nikolai Mihailovich is dead. It was the will of the Lord, and the Lord has given him eternal peace. You have grieved over it, and that ought to be enough. Now it's time to stop. One can't weep and wear mourning forever. My husband died a few years ago. I grieved for him. I wept a whole month, and then it was over. Must one be forever singing lamentations? That would be more than your husband was worth. You've forgotten all your neighbors. You don't go out and you receive no one. We live, you'll pardon me, like the spiders, and the good light of day we never see. All the livery is eaten by the mice as though there were no more nice people left in the world. But the whole neighborhood is full of gentlefolk. The regiment is stationed in Ribloff. Officers, simply beautiful. One can't see enough of them. Every Friday a ball, and military music every day. Oh, my dear, dear ma'am, young and pretty as you are, if only you let your spirits live. Beauty can't last forever. When 10 short years are over, you'll be glad enough to go out a bit and meet the officers, and then it'll be too late.
Please don't speak of these things again. You know very well that since the death of Nikolai Mikhailovich, my life is absolutely nothing to me. You think I live, but it only seems so. Do you understand? Oh, that his departed soul may see how I love him. I know, it is no secret to you. He was often unjust toward me, cruel, and he wasn't faithful. But I shall remain faithful to the grave and prove to him how I can love. There in the beyond he'll find me the same as I was until his death.
What is the use of all these words when you'd so much rather go walking in the garden, or order Toby or Velikan harnessed to the trap, and visit the neighbors?
Oh,
Madam, dear madam, what is it? In heaven's name!
he loved Toby so. He always drove him to the court shakens or the Vlasovs. What a wonderful horseman he was. How fine he looked when he pulled at the reins with all his might. Toby, Toby. Give him an extra measure of oats today.
Yes, ma'am.
What's that? I am at home to no one.
Yes, ma'am.
You shall see, Nikolai, how I can love and forgive. My love will die only with me when my poor heart stops beating. And aren't you ashamed? I've been a good, true wife. I've imprisoned myself, and I shall remain true until death. And you're not ashamed of yourself, my dear monster. You quarreled with me, left me alone for weeks.
Oh, ma'am, someone is asking for you. Insists on seeing you.
You told him that since my husband's death I received no one.
I said so, but he won't listen. He says it is a pressing matter.
I receive no one.
I told him that, but he's a wild man. He swore and pushed himself into the room. He's in the dining room now.
Good. Show him in. The impudent. What a bore people are. What can they want with me? Why do they disturb my peace? Yes, it is clear I must enter a convent. Yes, a convent.
Fool, you make too much noise, you're an ass! Madam, I have the honor to introduce myself. Lieutenant in the artillery, retired, country gentleman, Gregory Stepanovich Smirnov, and I'm compelled to bother you about an incredibly pressing matter.
What is it you wish?
Your deceased husband, with whom I had the honor to be acquainted, left me 2 notes amounting to about 1,200 rubles. Inasmuch as I have to pay the interest tomorrow on a loan from the Agrarian Bank, I should like to request, madam, that you pay me the money today.
1,200? And for what was my husband indebted to you?
He bought oats from me.
Don't forget to give Toby an extra measure of oats. If Nikolai Mikhailovich is indebted to you, I shall, of course, pay you, but I'm sorry I haven't the money today. Tomorrow, my manager will return from the city, and I shall notify him to pay you what is due you. But until then, I cannot satisfy your request. Furthermore, it is just 7 months since the death of my husband, and I am not in a mood to discuss money matters.
And I am in the mood to fly up a chimney with my feet in the air if I can't lay my hands on that interest tomorrow. They'll seize my estate.
Day after tomorrow, you will receive the money.
I don't need the money day after tomorrow. I need it today.
I'm sorry, I can't pay you today.
And I can't wait until day after tomorrow.
But what can I do if I haven't it?
So you can't pay.
I cannot.
Is that your last word?
My last.
Absolutely?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And they expect me to put up with all that. Just now the toll gatherer met me in the road and asked me why I was always worrying. Why in heaven's name shouldn't I worry? I need money. I feel the knife at my throat. Yesterday in the early dawn I left my house and called on all my debtors. If even one of them had paid his debt, I worked the skin off my fingers. The devil knows what sort of inn I slept. In a room with a barrel of brandy. And now at last I come here, 70 versts from home, hope for a little money, and all you give me is moods. Why shouldn't I worry?
I thought I made it plain to you that my manager will return from town, and then you will get your money.
I did not come to see the manager. I came to see you. What the devil, pardon the language, do I care for your manager?
Really, sir, I am not used to such language or such manners. I shan't listen to you any further.
What can one say to that? Moods! 7 months since her husband died. Do I have to pay the interest or not? But I repeat the question. Do I have to pay the interest or not? The husband's dead and all that. The manager is the devil with him traveling somewhere. Now tell me, what am I to do? Shall I run away from my creditors in a balloon? Or knock my head against a stone wall? If I call on Grustev, he chooses to be not at home. Iroshevich has merely hidden himself. I quarreled with Curzon and came near throwing him out the window. Mastov is ill, and this woman has moods. Not one of them will pay up. And all because I've spoiled them, because I'm an old whiner, dish rag. But I'm too tender-hearted with them. But wait, I'll allow nobody to play tricks with me, the devil with them all. I'll stay here and not budge until she pays. Ugh. Angry I am. Terribly angry I am. Every tendon is trembling with anger, and I can hardly breathe. I'm even growing ill. Servant!
What is it you wish?
Bring me kvass or water. Well, what can we do? She hasn't it on hand. What sort of logic is that? A fellow stands with a knife at his throat. He needs money. He's on the point of hanging himself. And she won't pay because she isn't in the mood to discuss money matters. Women's logic. That's why I never like to talk to women. Well, I dislike doing it now. I would rather sit on a powdered barrel than talk with a woman. I'm cold as ice. This affair has made me so angry. I only need to see such a romantic creature from afar to get so angry I get cramps in the calves. It's enough to make one yell for help.
Madam is ill and is not receiving.
March! Ill and isn't receiving. All right, doesn't matter. I won't receive either. I'll sit here and stay until you pay. If you're ill a year, I'll sit here a year. If you're... Gosh, as heaven is my witness, I'll get the money. You don't disturb me with your mourning, or with your dimples. Do we know these dimples? It's awful. Unbearable heat. Didn't sleep last night. And now, morning dresses with moods. My head aches. Perhaps I ought to have a drink. Yes, I must have a drink. Servant!
What do you wish?
Something to drink. Fine figure, no use denying that. Dust, dirty boots, unwashed, uncombed, straw in my vest. The lady probably took me for a highwayman. Was a little rude of me to come into the reception room in such clothes. So well, no harm done. Not here as a guest, I'm a creditor. And there's no special costume for creditors.
You take great liberty, sir.
What?
I just...
Whom are you talking to? Keep quiet!
Nice mess! This fellow won't leave!
Lord, how angry I am! Angry enough to throw mud at the whole world! I even feel ill, servant!
Sir, in my solitude, I've become unaccustomed to the human voice, and I cannot stand the sound of loud talking. I beg you please to cease disturbing my rest.
Pay me my money, and I'll leave.
I told you once, plainly, in your native tongue, that I haven't the money at hand. Wait until day after tomorrow.
And I also had the honor of informing you, in your native tongue, that I need the money, not day after tomorrow, but today. If you don't pay me today, I shall hang myself tomorrow.
But what can I do if I haven't the money?
So you're not going to pay immediately? You're not.
I cannot.
Then I'll sit here until you bring the money. You'll pay day after tomorrow? Excellent! Here I shall sit until day after tomorrow. I ask you, do I have to pay the interest tomorrow or not? Or do you think I'm joking?
Sir, I beg of you, don't scream. This is not a stable.
I'm not talking about stables. I'm asking whether I have to pay the interest tomorrow or not.
I don't care to speak with impudent men.
How remarkable. How would you like one to speak to you? In French, perhaps? Madame, je vous prie, pardon me for having disturbed you. What beautiful weather we're having today, and how this morning becomes you.
Not at all funny. I think it vulgar.
Not at all funny. Vulgar. I don't know how to behave in the company of ladies. Madam, in the course of my life, I've seen more women than you have sparrows. 3 times I've got into duels for women. 12 I jilted and 9 jilted me. There was a time when I played the fool, used honeyed language, bowed and scraped. I loved, suffered, sighed to the moon, melted in love's torments. I loved passionately. I loved to madness, loved in every key. Chattered like a magpie on emancipation. Sacrificed half my fortune in the tender passion, until now that all knows I've had enough of it. Your obedient servant will let you lead him around by the nose no more. like whispers, soft, modest sighs. For all that matter, I wouldn't pay a kopeck. I'm not speaking of present company, but of women in general. From the teeniest to the greatest, they're all conceited, hypocritical, chattering, odious, deceitful from top to toe, vain, petty, cruel, with a maddening logic, and please excuse my frankness, but one sparrow is worth 10 of the aforementioned petticoat philosophers. When one sees one of the romantic creatures before him, he imagines he's looking at some holy being, so wonderful that its one breath could dissolve him in a sea of 1,000 charms and delights. But if one looks into the soul, it's nothing more than a common crocodile! But worst of all is this crocodile imagines it's a masterpiece of creation, and it has monopoly on all tender passions. The devil hang me upside down if there's anything to love about a woman. When she is in love, all she knows is how to complain and shed tears. If the man suffers and makes sacrifices, she swings her train about and tries to lead him by the nose. You have the misfortune to be a woman, so naturally you know woman's nature. Tell me on your honor, have you ever in your life seen a woman who is really true and faithful? Never! Only the old and deformed are true and faithful. It's easier to find a cat with horns or a white woodcock than a faithful woman.
But allow me to ask, who is true and faithful in love? The man, perhaps?
Yes, indeed, the man!
The man. The man, true and faithful in love. Well, that is something new. How can you make such a statement? Men, true and faithful. So long as we've gone thus far, I may as well say that of all the men I have known, my husband was the best. I loved him passionately with all my soul, as only a young, sensible woman may love. I gave him my youth, my happiness, my fortune, my life. I worshipped him like a heathen. And what happened? This best of men betrayed me in every possible way. After his death, I found his desk filled with love letters. While he was alive, he left me alone for months. It is horrible even to think about it. He made love to other women in my very presence. He wasted my money and made fun of my feelings. And in spite of everything, I trusted him and was true to him. And more than that, he is dead, and I am still true to him. I've buried myself within these four walls, and I shall wear this mourning to my grave.
Mourning? What on earth do you take me for? As if I didn't know why you wore this black domino, and why you buried yourself within these four walls. Such a secret, so romantic. Some night will pass by, look up at the castle walls, and think to himself, here lies the mysterious Tamara, who, for the love of her husband, has buried herself within these four walls. Oh, I understand the art.
What? What do you mean by saying such things to me?
You've buried yourself alive, but meanwhile you've not forgotten to powder your nose.
How dare you speak so?
Don't scream at me, please. I'm not the manager. Allow me to call things by their right names. I'm not a woman, and I'm accustomed to speak out what I think. So please don't scream.
I'm not screaming, it is you who are screaming. Please leave me, I beg of you.
Pay me my money.
I won't give you the money.
You won't. You won't give me my money.
I don't care what you do. You won't get a kopeck. Leave me.
As I have the pleasure of being either your husband or your fiancé, please don't scream. I can't stand it.
You are going to sit down.
I already have.
Kindly leave the house.
Give me the money.
I don't care to speak with impudent men. Leave. You aren't going?
No,
No.
no.
Very well. Luca? Luca, show the gentleman out.
Sir, why don't you leave when you are ordered? What do you want?
Whom are you talking to? I'll grind you into powder!
Good Lord! I'm ill. I can't breathe.
Where's Dasha? Dasha? Pelagea? Dasha!
They're all gone. I'm ill. Water.
Leave. Get out.
Kindly be a little more polite.
You are vulgar. You're a boor. A monster.
What did you just say?
I said you were a boor. A monster.
Permit me to ask you what right you have to insult me.
What of it? Do you think I am afraid of you?
And you think that because you are a romantic creature, you can insult me without being punished? I challenge you.
Merciful heaven, water.
We'll have a duel.
Think because you have big fists and a steer's neck, I am afraid of you?
I'll allow no one to insult me. It doesn't matter that you're a woman, one of the weaker sex.
Boor, boor, boor!
It's high time to do away with that old superstition that's only the man who's forced to give satisfaction. If there's equity at all, if there be equity in all things, there's a limit.
You wish to fight a duel? Very well.
Immediately.
Immediately. My husband had pistols. I'll bring them. Oh, what a pleasure it'll be to put a bullet in your impudent head. The devil take you.
I'll shoot her down. I'm no fledgling, no sentimental young puppy. For me, there is no weaker sex.
Oh, sir. Have pity on me, an old maid, and go away. You have frightened me to death already, and now you want to fight a duel.
A duel. That's equity. Emancipation. That way the sexes are made equal. I'll shoot her down as a matter of principle. What can a person say to such a woman? The devil take you, I'll put a bullet in your impudent head. What can one say to that? She was angry. Her eyes blazed. On my honor, it's the first time in my life I ever saw such a woman.
Oh, sir, go away.
That is a woman. I can understand her. A real woman. No shilly-shallying, but fire, powder, and noise. It'd be a pity to shoot a woman like that.
Oh, sir, go away. Go away.
Here are the pistols, but before we have our duel, please show me how to shoot. I've never had a pistol in my hand before.
God have mercy upon us. I'll go and get the gardener and the coachman. Why has this horror come to us?
You see, there are special dueling pistols with cap and ball, but these are revolvers. Smith & Wesson, with ejectors, fine pistols. A pair like that cost at least 90 rubles. This is how you hold a revolver. Those eyes, a real woman.
Like this?
Yes, that way. Put the hammer down. Then you aim. Stretch your arm out. Tilt your head back. Put your finger on the thing like that. And perfect. Chief thing is this. Don't get too excited. Don't hurry your aim. And take care your hand doesn't tremble.
It isn't well to shoot inside. Let's go into the garden.
Yes. I'll tell you now. I'm going to shoot in the air.
That's too much. Why?
Because that is my business.
You are afraid. Yes. No, my dear sir, no flinching. Follow me. I won't rest until I've made a hole in that head I hate so much. Are you afraid?
Yes, I'm afraid.
You are lying. Why won't you fight?
Because I like you.
You like me? He dares to say he likes me. Go.
Listen, are you still angry? I was mad as the devil myself, but please understand, how can I express myself? The thing is, such things are... How is it my fault that you owe me money? Devil knows what breakable furniture you have. I like you, do you understand? I'm almost in love.
Leave. I hate you.
Lord, what a woman! Never in my life met one like her. I'm lost, ruined, I've been caught like a mouse in a trap.
Go, or I'll shoot.
Shoot, you have no idea what joy it'd bring me to die in the sight of those beautiful eyes. To die from the revolver in that little velvet hand. I'm mad! Consider it. Decide immediately, for if I go now, we shall never see each other again. Decide. Speak. I'm a noble, a respectable man. Have the income of 10,000. Can shoot a coin thrown in the air. I own some fine horses. Will you be my wife?
I'll shoot.
I can't understand. Servant, water. I've fallen in love like any young man. I love you. I love you as I have never loved before. 12 women I jilted, 9 jilted me, but not one of them I have loved as I love you. I'm caught, trapped. I lie at your feet like a fool and beg for your hand. Shame and disgrace. For 5 years I haven't been in love. I thank the Lord for it. And now I'm caught like a carriage tongue in another carriage. Yes or no? Will you? Good.
Wait a moment.
Well,
Nothing. You may go. But wait a moment. No, go on, go on. I hate you. Or, no, don't go. Oh, if you knew how angry I was, how angry. My finger is swollen from this thing. What are you standing there for? Get out!
farewell.
Yes, go. Why are you going? Wait, no, go. Oh, how angry I am. Don't come too near. Don't come too near. Or come no nearer.
How angry I am with myself. Fall in love like a schoolboy. Throw myself before you and beg. I've got a chill. I love you. This is fine. All I needed was to fall in love. The hay harvest begins. I have to pay my interest. And then you appear. I can never forgive myself.
Go away. Take your hands off me. I hate you. This is...
Merciful heavens.
Tell them in the stable that Tobby isn't to have any oats.